Hey, Dr. C here with you. I had a super important question that I wanted to go deep on for you. Uh, Hi, Dr. C. I'm desperate to lower my thyroid antibodies, lose weight, and feel better. What would be the ultimate list of supplements I could take to help? From Denise. So, really good question, Denise. And you inspired me to give you a good answer. I've thought about this one back and forth a lot. We've got several supplements we've made for thyroid disease. A lot of things are on the market. What would be the ultimate bundle? There's a point where you can take too many pills and they work against each other. And there's a lot of ingredients that are not helpful for those who have thyroid disease. But let's not do that. So using things that are compatible, that are safe and appropriate, what would be like the dream team, or the most valuable players all pulled together to make a big difference for this? So that's what this is. This would be the ultimate Hashimoto's bundle. And with the right mixture like this, you can see antibodies come down for many, weight loss can get easier, insulin resistance can improve, energy can pick up, thyroid cells have a better chance of healing, we can see lower risks for thyroid cancer, and we can see better gastrointestinal health. So if you want a real quick overview about just how to use this stuff and just like how to get you started, here's the basic idea. For breakfast, do a daily reset pack, do 2 capsules of thyroid balance and 1 scoop of RS complete. Mid-morning, do 2 capsules of inflamed reset, and for dinner, take the second daily reset pack. That's it. Okay, so now why these items? Well, the daily reset pack, I'll talk about a couple of things. I've gone super thorough in this as far as like the top 24 nutrients to help overall thyroid function. And this is basically foundational supplementation. You can't get all the nutrients from your diet, which doesn't mean you can eat junk food. You want to eat good food, and you want to make sure you're not missing out on any micronutrients. So we think about the B vitamins, the fat-soluble vitamins, the macro minerals, calcium, magnesium, the trace minerals, things like molybdenum, manganese, zinc, selenium, the essential fats, vitamin D. These are all critical foundational things, and pretty much all of them have distinct roles to play with thyroid health. So if you've got thyroid disease, what you need is not the same as what someone else might do okay with otherwise. So yeah, for those purposes, I made the daily reset pack. And part of my motivation was that I take these things. This is like an easy way to get all the stuff you need. So you got a little packet with 4 capsules in there. You do one of those twice a day, and you cover the big bases. Now, some things that are distinct about this. It's iodine-free. That's a huge one. So you want to avoid extra iodine. It slows down your thyroid. It drives thyroid disease. It cuts the chance of the cells to repair. And as convenient as multivitamins are, they all have iodine. So that's an easy workaround. Another big thing is that this is a kind of calcium that's safe to take an hour after taking your thyroid medication. So calcium is critical for thyroid health. Your bones can thin from abnormal thyroid levels. And there's a lot of overlap between bone disease and thyroid disease. And calcium works better taken a couple times per day. However, most forms of calcium, you've got to wait 8 hours or more after taking thyroid medication. You can't do that twice a day. So this is an easy workaround. It's a kind of calcium that's found in plants called dicalcium malate, and it's highly soluble, not a problem. Another unique thing is that I put a therapeutic amount of selenium in here and chose a form of selenium that's the same form we find in Brazil nuts called selenocysteine. And this mixture is called Seleno XL. You can't find that very easily, but what's cool about that one is that it's a kind of selenium that regulates iodine absorption, iodine activation, hormone formation, thyroid hormone release, TSH production, cell membrane receptor response, thyroid hormone conversion, all of these things. And there's good evidence that this version of selenium has been shown to improve thyroid hormone levels and lower thyroid antibodies, regardless of your selenium status. So one paper showed that thyroglobulin antibodies can go down dramatically, as can thyroid peroxidase. And this is a form called selenocysteine. The other cool thing about it is that it won't build up in your body. Selenium in other forms actually can build up, and it can get to be excessive. But they did some studies showing that even in pretty high doses, this one, you'll excrete the extra, but it won't accumulate and be harmful. Another big unique element of the Daily Reset Pack is I've taken out vitamin B6. Now, that might sound wild, but no, you need pyridoxal 5-phosphate. And many papers have shown that those with thyroid disease have a hard time making B6 into pyridoxal phosphate. So the double problem with that is they can lack the ability to convert and activate their thyroid hormones, but it also means that they can get toxic from B6. I've seen countless times to where patients have neurologic symptoms, they're anxious, they've got tremors, they've got pain in their hands and feet for no clear reason. And when we check their blood levels, they're vitamin B6 toxic. They've got too much pyridoxine circulating in their bloodstream. And that happens, they're just taking normal supplements that have pyridoxine HCl, but they can't convert that. Their livers can't activate that, and it becomes neurotoxic, and it causes neurologic side effects for them. But at the same time, they need what they could make it into. So we work around, we think about that ahead of time and make sure that your body won't have a problem like this. We also see that having pyridoxal phosphate makes those with thyroid disease do better responding to iron. They're less apt to become anemic and have problems with it. So it's super critical, but it's easy for it to be toxic. So we think ahead, and we do this specifically for those who have thyroid disease and keep them from having harm from that. Another big thing that's distinct is I've chosen to add in molybdenum. This is a trace mineral that sometimes is considered in the list of those that are essential. You won't always see it, but it is essential for thyroid hormone activity. There's been pretty good data saying that lacking amounts of molybdenum can cause the liver to be unable to properly convert and utilize thyroid hormones in the periphery. There's also data showing that those lower molybdenum are more apt to have histamine reactions. We can see this as a problem for those with thyroid disease. We've also added in a special form of zinc and a good amount of that. Placebo-controlled studies have shown that zinc in the right types can support T3, T4 conversion, even though in the cells, even if blood levels don't change. So it's critical that zinc is in a form that's easily activated and converted, such as zinc bisglycinate that requires minimal absorption and tends not to displace copper levels. So those are a couple of big things. We've also included omega-3 fats, and these are critical. A lot of data has shown that omega-3 fats can be amongst the biggest drivers that protect the thyroid and cut the risk of thyroid disease progression. However, omega-3 fats can be massive sources of iodine as well. So we scour carefully and analyze our products for the iodine content. And I can assure you that these omega-3 fats are safe because they don't have excessive amounts of iodine. We've got a threshold we measure for. There are many versions of omega-3 fats in the market. A lot of them are great, but we found that many do not pass our standards for safe iodine levels for those who have thyroid disease. So those are a couple nutrients. There's actually 24 in the Daily Reset Pack, and each one has a story like that about why it's different for those who have thyroid disease and how it's distinct. So next up in the ultimate thyroid bundle would be some way to really manage the chronic inflammatory response. And some ingredients are critical for that. Some of them are ones that break down damaged proteins, and because of that, it's better taken away from meals. So this one, the Inflamed Reset, 2 capsules once a day between meals. Mid-morning is a perfect time of day for that. I included in here curcumin, boswellia, rutin, resveratrol, and quercetin. Here's some big reasons why. One large paper showed that a combination of curcumin and boswellia, like this, can dramatically reduce thyroid nodules. It was shown to cause them to come down by 2/3 or greater in rather short periods of time with no real harm or side effects. Boswellia has been independently shown to help some of the memory deficits that can develop from hypothyroidism. It was an animal study, but it was a rather dramatic result in which it improved brain fog, cognitive function. Now, rutin is a plant bioflavonoid. It's been shown to help prevent thyroid peroxidase from getting iodinated. So what that means is that's how autoimmunity for the thyroid starts. You iodinate thyroid peroxidase and your immune system then starts to attack it. Rutin also helps to regulate how your cells adjust their sodium iodide symporter, and that makes it to where they can take in enough iodine but not too much. It's also been shown to have roles on the deiodinase 1 enzymes. These are the ones that help to control your conversion and breakdown of thyroid hormone. Now, resveratrol's in the mixture because it's been shown to have pretty good effects upon cutting the risk of thyroid cancer progression. One of the biggest serious risks about thyroid disease is the development of thyroid cancer. And we know that chronic inflammatory Hashimoto's can damage cells and make those risks a lot higher. But papers have shown that resveratrol in the right amounts can change that risk and lower that amount of inflammation. The same is true for quercetin and curcumin. And those are a couple more reasons that those found their way in this mixture. So we got inflame reset. Next in the ultimate bundle would be RS Complete. So this is resistant starch. This one is so easy to take. You do a scoop once a day with food and do that with breakfast. I throw it in the Daily Reset shake. You can add it to plain water. There's no wrong way to take it. It has no flavor and the scoop is tiny. So why is this specific to thyroid function? Well, one large study showed that there's a couple of genes, the CHREBP and also the THRSP genes, that are acting differently in those who have thyroid disease. And the short version of that is they make the liver more prone to form body fat out of food. Now, diets rich in RS have been shown to lower the activity of these genes by 78 to 86%, which is really cool. So if you ever think, I eat well, but my weight doesn't budge, those genes can be one of the big reasons why. And you can turn those down and have them be less of a factor for you. So that's a specific thing. As far as general data, there's been many, many human studies and animal studies on resistant starch. We know that it leads to better gut health, reduced adiposity, fat formation overall, and improvement in insulin sensitivity. Papers have shown that humans can dramatically reduce body fat by simply adding that in and using that for some of the fibers in their diet. Other papers have shown that it can improve chronic cardiovascular disease, it can slow the progression of kidney disease, you can lower whole body inflammation, lower oxidative stress, and improve satiety, as well as accelerate fat metabolism. So all awesome stuff and no big drawbacks to it. As a generalization, there's these short chain fats that our flora can make when things work really well. And these include butyrate, propionate, and acetonate. These are compounds that have protective roles upon the gut lining, and they lower inflammation and they regulate the immune response. And the most powerful way to make those is by feeding your flora resistant starch. So it's probably a bigger effect than probiotics for healing leaky gut, lowering gut inflammation, and regulating blood sugar. How could I not mention it? That's like one of the biggest things that this does. So for a 7 to 9 hour window after ingesting resistant starch, your blood sugar is dialed in. And for a 24-hour window, any future meals you consume are absorbed more slowly and more gradually. So incredibly powerful that way, and lots of links between thyroid disease and diabetes risk. So one good way to cut that risk is with just having more resistant starch. You get this too from lots of great foods, bananas and plantains when they're less ripe, white potatoes, sweet potatoes are good foods, but they're not really high in resistant starch, but white potatoes are. And then all the white legumes have a bunch too. But for a therapeutic dose, this is an easy way to add that in and eat the foods that you do well with. And our last ingredient for our ultimate bundle, our superstar that helps, is going to be thyroid balance. And this stuff is so awesome. This is Nigella sativa. This is also called black cumin seed oil. And to use this one, just 2 caps once a day with meals. Do it first thing in the morning, so it's all finished, and you got that one covered. It's been used for millennia in many parts of the world, especially the Middle East, as a culinary oil, but also as a folk remedy. We now know that this has dramatic anti-inflammatory effects. And it's been studied for inflammation for pulmonary disease, arthritis, but now we've got some really cool papers about its effects upon thyroid disease. So in one such study, 40 people with Hashimoto's disease, they were in a trial, and they were put in 2 groups. One got this, one got a placebo. They took it for 8 weeks. And what they saw was that using the thyroid balance caused reduced body weight, improved body mass index, improved TSH levels, lower anti-thyroid peroxidase levels, better T3 metabolism, and also reduction in serum VEGF, which is a marker of vascularity of the thyroid, and that predicts cancer. So their antibodies got better, their thyroid function improved, they lost weight spontaneously, and their cancer risks decreased. They also saw improvements in waist to hip ratio from the mixture. And this was a placebo-controlled study. It was a well-done human placebo-controlled study. Those benefits didn't show up in the placebo group. That was just in the active group. We've also had other studies showing that thyroid balance can also cut the risk of fatty liver in those that have thyroid disease. And we've got some good animal models showing that it can cut inflammatory damage to the thyroid, increase the rate of possible cell repair amongst the thyroid follicles, and also cut the risk of progression to other types of autoimmune inflammation. So awesome stuff. And that would be my dream team, my ultimate bundle. So yeah, overall nutrient support, daily reset pack. You want to manage inflammation for sure, inflame reset, help your gut, help your blood sugar, help the body better do a good job regulating immunity, RS complete, and then lowering the overall resistance to thyroid hormone and helping the gland work better, thyroid balance, and all compatible things. So supplementation in general, everyone's taking some pills. You want to take ones that are helpful for you. And these are the nutrients that I found to be just the best documented for making a big difference with Hashimoto's. And it was critical not just to have the right ones, but to get the right amounts and to get the right forms, and then make sure there was nothing that wouldn't get in the way of your thyroid function. Because again, so many common things can block your thyroid, like iodine, or be harmful for those with thyroid disease, like B6 or folic acid, didn't even mention that. But a lot of common nutrients can be harmful. So it's this cool thing to where there's an opportunity to help to heal your thyroid, lower antibodies, boost metabolism, help energy do better, and you can do it safely. So thank you for that question. Dr. C here with you, and take great care. We'll see you again real soon.